Hey you guys, today we are in my garage and I am about to put a finish on this table that I just built. But before I do that, I wanted to talk to you about the finish I chose, why I chose it. I will show you how to apply it and I will explain to you the problems you might run into and how to fix it. So again, this is a side table, I don't know what to call it, but this is going to live in my kitchen. It's going to be my coffee station. It's going to be against the wall. And I did not film building it just because I was a little bit in a rush. I really need to get this done by Thanksgiving. Well, I need to get it done tomorrow, be done by tomorrow, so the finish has time to cure. So at Thanksgiving, when I have 18 people over for Thanksgiving dinner, I will have this ready and we can use it as a coffee station. And then the shelf below is going to be a cereal station. That way it's gonna, clear up some of my kitchen counter for meal prepping. Now, the bottom of the table, it's already attached. I attach it with the Z-clips. And if you're not familiar with Z-clips, they look something like this. And that way it will allow for movement of the wood for expansions and contraction and so on. So the bottom shelf, it's already attached, but the top is not attached yet because I find that it's easier for me to put a finish on it. I'll do one side, then I can flip it over to the other side. And when the finish is all dry and stuff, then I can put the Z-clips. The Z-clips, in order to attach my top to them, what I did is on the aprons, I ran table saw width curve. So I ran it through the table saw exactly a half an inch from the top. So the distance from the top to the table saw blade was a half an inch, and I ran a groove where this Z-clip is going to sit, and that's the way the tabletop and the shelf is going to be attached to the table. Now, if you're wondering why am I in my garage and not in the shop, well, that's because I am going to apply a finish to this table, and when you apply a finish, it has to be in the proper conditions. That means usually around 70 degrees Fahrenheit for the temperature and about 50% humidity. My shop, it is not heated, so right now it's in the 40s, maybe 50s, something like that. So it would be too cold for me to apply a finish and, cure it properly. So my garage, it is heated. I have it at 70 degrees and it is about 46, 48% humidity. So this should work perfectly to cure the finish. Now the finish I chose for this table is the General Finishes oil-based ArmRSeal. This is a wipe-on poly, or people might also refer to it as a wipe-on varnish. And I chose this one because it's very water resistant and, chemical resistant. So it's super, super tough. It's great for tabletops, for countertops, and, all these kind of surfaces that will have a lot of abuse. And as I told you, this is going to be my coffee station. So I wanted something that will, withstand the, use and abuse. Now, what is this ArmRSeal? ArmRSeal, it's a wipe-on poly. Some people might also refer to it as a wipe-on varnish. A wipe-on varnish, it's a top coat that is a film-like, so it protects it. It forms a really hard film on top of your wood. And a wipe-on varnish, usually it would have a resin in it. You'll have some fast-drying oils, and it will have some mineral spirit to thin it out to make it wipeable. Every wipe-on finish is usually very liquidy, so you can put multiple coats, very, very thin coats. So that's what it is. It's just a wipe-on poly. Now, I've tried the Minwax wipe-on poly, and I didn't like it so much, but this one, I do think it's superior to that one, and I like it better. Usually, I'm not a big fan of varnishes. I prefer to use oil finish. I like the way the wood feels with an oil finish, but the oil finish is not as protective, and you do have to reapply it, every 6 months or so to, keep it look luxurious and nice. So I went to the wipe-on poly. Now let's talk a little bit about the finishes. You can buy this ArmRSeal into satin, semi-gloss, and gloss. They are all the same products except the semi-gloss and the satin, they have silica powder in it. Silica powder, it is white in color, and the purpose for that is a flattening agent. And when I say flattening, I don't mean like a leveling to make it flat. I mean it just makes it not shiny, not glossy. So if you would take a can of the glass, a can of satin, and one of the semi-gloss, and decant it, put it into a clear glass jar, let's say, you will notice that the satin will have this deposit of powder on the bottom. It's a white powder, that's the silica powder. So we'll have a pretty thick layer of silica powder deposit on the bottom. The semi-gloss will have about half of that amount on the bottom, and then the glass will be crystal clear, no silica powder on the bottom. The way this flattening agent works, it's a white powder, and when you use the glass one, the light reflects into your surface and bounces right back into your eyes, and it looks shiny and glassy. But when you use the semi-gloss or the satin, it has that silica powder. What it does is just creates a little bit of texture. You don't feel it. It feels very smooth to the touch, but at microscopic level, it creates a little bit of texture, just enough to bounce the light, disperse it in different directions, so then it does not appear as glassy. Now, that silica powder causes problems to some when applied, if you not apply it correctly, and that is because when you use satin or semi-gloss, you have to constantly stir it as you use it. If you just stir it once, you mix it well, and then you start working on a large table, as you're working, if you don't keep mixing it, the powder starts to settle on the bottom. So then you will have the part that you took when you just mixed it. It has some of that silica powder, and it looks satin or semi-gloss, and you start working on your table, and by the time you get to the other end, all the powder settles on the bottom of the container, and then you're just using the glass for the other side. And then when the light hits the table just right, you will see the parts that are not shiny, you will see the parts that are shiny, and it's just going to look very streaky. So that's a lot of people are getting streaking because they're not constantly mixing the product as they are applying it. So that's just a little bit about the finishings. I took a picture. I do not have the semi-gloss, but I have this jar. It's the glass, and then I have this container. This is a satin. This one only has about a third left on the bottom, and this one was full. I just bought it. And I took a picture just so you can see how the glass looks so clear. You can see through the whole container. You can see the very bottom of the container, nice and crystal clear. And then on the satin, it's a third of the container full. You can really see that it's lighter color. It has that white powder in it. You can see the texture into the container, and you cannot see the bottom of the container as clearly as you can with the glass. Another problem that you might find yourself using this product is too many coats of the satin, let's say. If you take the satin and you put 10 coats, let's say, I'm exaggerating, you should never go more than 3 or 4 coats, but let's say you put 10 coats, well, all that white powder layering up over on top of each other, your surface is going to start to look cloudy from the white silica powder. And it's especially going to be noticeable when you're working with dark woods like walnut. If you work with, let's say, pine or, hard maple or light color woods, you will not see it so much because it's light on light and you cannot see it, but on darker woods, it will be noticeable. So because of that, a lot of woodworkers, they will use glass. They will use a couple of coats of glass to get that crystal clear, and then they will put a satin on the top just to dull it up a little bit so it's not as glassy. So that's something to consider. I will put a link of the ArmRSeal into the description below if you're interested. It is an affiliate link, and that means to no extra cost to you. I will earn a small commission if you use my link. Now, that is enough chit-chat about the product. Let's get into applying this. And, oh, before I apply it, one more thing. I had so much information I wanted to bounce at you, but I'm sure I forgot already a whole bunch of stuff. Another reason why people get streaking when they apply this is because it dries fairly quickly. So if you work on a really large surface and you start working and it starts to dry a little bit, it gets tacky, and then people will go back and touch it or overlap it, and you're just smearing that tacky surface. So you want to work quick, and then if you see a little spot that you missed or a piece of dust that settles or whatever, just leave it. Do not touch it again. Let it dry completely. And then when it's completely dry, you can take a little bit of sandpaper and just lightly sand it and then put another coat, and that should solve the problem. You should sand after every coat. You should use 400 grit sandpaper and lightly sand before applying the next coat. Now, how do you know how long to wait for it to be dry? Well, in perfect conditions, it will be about 8 hours, but they recommend 24 hours to wait between coats. That's because they do not know what your conditions are. Your shop might be humid, maybe it's colder, and it takes a little bit longer. You will know when your top coat is dry because when you use your sandpaper and you start to sand your surface, if your sandpaper is gumming up, that means your finish is not dry. So it has to be completely dry. When you sand it, it will be a fine white powder and will not gum up your sandpaper. Now let's get on applying this finish. I am going to use gloves. I am going to use the glass, and I put my finish into a ketchup bottle. I wrote on it what it is so I don't get mistaken, and I like using a ketchup bottle because I can pour it into my pad as I use it, and that way I don't knock over my container. You guys have no idea how many times I knocked over my finish. I knocked up full containers of paint and so on. I'm pretty clumsy in the shop, so ketchup bottle it is for me. For the applicator, you can use a brush, you can use foam brush, you can use whatever you want. I'm just gonna use an old t-shirt, and I'm going to cut a piece of this t-shirt, and that's what I'm going to use. You want a lint-free cloth. Do not use terry cloth because it will leave little pieces of fibers on your top, and you really don't want that. So I'm using an old t-shirt. Also, I should mention that I did sand my surface to 320 and then I wiped it down with mineral spirits. I like to use mineral spirits because it removes the dust that I left over when I vacuum the surface, and also it will allow me to see any kind of glue spots that I have missed. So I'm using this t-shirt that I just kind of folded into a little flat pad, and I'm gonna put my gloves on. I'm gonna bring you in closer so you can see what I'm doing. All right, I moved the table a little bit more that way because I had this big large spot of sun over here. So here is my finish, and you can just squirt it straight on your table and then use the cloth to move it around. Let me just fold this again. I want to make sure I get a nice flat pad here, just like that. And what I will do is just pour this finish straight into my t-shirt and then wipe it onto my table. I think I need to put more finish. Wipe away the grain. First coat always soaks in a decent amount. You see, the ketchup bottle really makes it so easy. I don't have to go to my jar and try to dip this in. There's no double dipping, contaminating. All right, so now it's all wet. I'm just going with the grain, long strokes, and that is it. And that's it. Now hands off and don't touch it. Let it dry completely. And then, like I said before, 400 grit sandpaper, give it a light sand, apply another coat. I'll be putting 3 coats onto the top and the top of the shelf and the rest of the frame, and on the underside, it's only going to have 2 coats. I hope this was helpful and you learned something new. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Skylar Ewing, and I'll see you in my next video.